I miss substance. Seeing all these recent Hollywood movies has made me forget that substance even exists, and also made me think that producers don't even need substance in order to make a good show. Success depends on action and shouting and exploitation. Yet in Bokurano, a 2007 anime series, it chooses to be explosive, but in a very psychological way. That's added with some scripting that goes above expectations by entertaining the audience with numerous character studies, and we have a brilliantly executed blend of detailed human drama and actually intense mecha battles. As you can probably tell from the poster, Bokurano is all about a group of children who pilot a mecha suit. As tempting as it is for me to spoil the entire premise even more, and indeed I knew the entire premise going in, which actually put me on edge for the first few episodes, I'm going to keep quiet. I think Bokurano might have more of an impact for you if you go into this with a clear mind, as the big mystery unravels and the surprises hit you. The best part of Bokurano is the way the writers handled the ensemble of characters. Most of them went from being normal, average kids to deep and fleshed out characters. As someone who's so used to seeing characters being treated as stereotypes, for me to see characters, animated characters, become realised and believable people was a really surreal thing to see. The writers didn't have to develop the characters. I mean, a story about kids piloting a mech can be entertaining enough, but they did develop the characters in a restrained and concise way. Bokurano never goes over the top, but at the same time it never undermines itself. It realises it's ridiculous, but it also realises it's cruel. All the emotions you'd expect from an anime this grim is front and centre, yet it never patronises, even when the opportunities to treat the audience like idiots arise. The writers knew how to treat the characters as humans, and the audience as humans. The standout episode is episode 7. Oh my goodness, it packed all the relationship and character and emotional development of a feature-length movie into 20 glorious minutes. It managed to set up a strong and engaging relationship, build and maintain a sense of heavy dread throughout, and execute the drama powerfully. The writers sure had balls tackling what they tackled in episode 7, as it could have easily been just a by-the-numbers soap opera, but instead it turned out to be a really cinematic story. Unbelievable! And episode 7 pretty much sums up what makes Bokurano so powerful. The writers do have restraint, but they don't have fear. If they want to show cruel death, they'll show cruel death. If they want to explore disturbing sexual themes, they'll explore disturbing sexual themes. In terms of character, they're all diverse and they all work as a group, and no one really takes the lead, as they all have a chance to shine dramatically and physically. Some are good people, some are bad people. Whilst most of them get a significant amount of development, some of them unfortunately did not, with the exception of one character who didn't get any development at all, as the decision to treat him like that made sense in the end. Some of the other characters didn't get a chance to strongly develop towards the end of the anime, which I thought was strange because the other characters around them got really developed. Furthermore, the characters that didn't get developed for no good reason actually changed dramatically for no good reason. They go from being scared and frightened to being calm and collected. What happened between those different emotional states? But for the most part, the characters were engaging, and I'm glad the writers didn't make every single character into a hero. That would have been boring as One character that stood out to me was Maki Anno. I liked her energy and her passion, and her wild design makes sense in the context of her relationship with her family. And yes, I did like that normal mecha reference during her development. Backing up the characters and the writing is rather emotional music. In fact, I would say the music played a very major role in carrying the psychological aspects once those aspects were set up. I mean, the music used in the ending of episode 7 was on point, as it captured all the heavy emotion of everything that had happened previously. Although I wish every episode in Bokurano was as impactful as 7, in the end, the anime couldn't have gone in that direction, or audiences, including myself, would have let go of this anime early, as it was very emotionally overpowered in the first act. Another element which backs up the writing is the use of surprises, especially in the mecha battles. I'm not going to complain that the battles were extremely slow-moving compared to contemporary mecha battles, because Bokurano is a dramatic anime with very high stakes, so a slow pace actually increases the intensity by a lot. But the surprises though, considering what the rules for the mecha battles are, the surprises that happened were shockingly plausible in my opinion. I also liked the voice acting and the use of chairs. Now, you've probably noticed that I keep on talking about the writing of this anime, not the animation itself, and that's because the animation isn't that great. I mean, just watch what happens when there's lots of movement on screen. You're probably thinking, GC, good anime is all about the writing, not the presentation. And while I would agree with that in general, I disagree with that in this case. If Bokurano had genuinely high quality animation, the drama, and drama usually relies on facial expressions and body language, the drama would have been elevated to a much higher level and captured the feelings of the characters a lot more clearly and cleanly. The animation did carry the characters' expressions in a serviceable way, but I can't help but feel Bokurano could have been advanced into a masterpiece if it had a bigger budget. The other major problem is that the writers spend a silly amount of time on the politics side of the anime's events. Yes, it was inevitable that politicians would end up involved and defense measures would be talked about, but did I care about any of the politicians? Nope. Did the politics actually affect the children's activities? Nope. Now don't get me wrong, I do find politics interesting, but here, the politics was so boring and so unnecessary. If that element was cut from the anime completely, the anime would have improved greatly. The politics was just there to fill time, and it distracted from the far more interesting story of the children going through what they're going through. Even though Bokurano was a tricky anime to get into, as the first few episodes played out like a repellent psychological horror, after that I got immersed in the numerous character studies. The anime never got boring and repetitive, even when it threatened to be. It just misses out on being a masterpiece, but don't be fooled. Don't be deceived by the low quality animation. Bokurano is a prime example of how interesting a show can be when it focuses on that seemingly long forgotten storytelling device called substance. 4 stars out of 5.